And we are back. It's the Casual Marks podcast. We're running through AEW Dynamite New Year's Smash. In case you haven't seen the first part, head over to our channel and check that out first. If you're joining us from that, I'm the Mark.
And I'm the Casual.
And we're going to run through and talk about some of the segments that took place on AEW Dynamite tonight. What was the first one that you had listed on your little list there?
The segments list?
Yeah, we'll go through the segments.
Right. It's Bryan Danielson versus Eddie Kingston promo package.
You know, this was a big complaint for a long time about AEW that they didn't do a great job of hyping up certain matches.
And I'll be honest, I was leading that charge.
Yeah. And I think everyone's kind of in agreement that WWE does overall a great job with promo packages.
We're making movies, pal.
But AEW in the last maybe month, maybe 2 months, they have really stepped it up with their promo packages.
Yeah, they really have. It makes it feel, I don't know if people might not like this, but I love it. It just makes it feel more professional, I get sucked into it more, you know what I mean? More believable to me. Or just it makes it more intriguing, I guess. And I feel like there was times when AEW, especially whenever we first started watching, just felt like somebody was recording on their iPhone in the backstage area, and now it's just looking a lot more advanced.
Yeah, I can agree.
And that's what you need from somebody what you need from something being run from somebody that's a billionaire, in my opinion.
I would agree. I do think the actual story of the hype package with, basically underdog Eddie Kingston, it doesn't work when he wins all of his matches.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's starting to feel
bums. Bums are always the underdog.
It's starting to feel similar to how John Cena was constantly made to look like the underdog, and Hulk Hogan even. They were like, how's he ever gonna defeat, I don't know, King Kong Bundy, Bam Bam Bigelow, the Big Boss Man? And it's like, I've seen him body slam Andre. I'm not concerned. Like, Eddie Kingston has pulled through a lot. I don't have any doubt in my mind that he has a good chance of beating Jon Moxley.
Are we spoiling stuff right now?
Yeah, I'm assuming most people have already seen the episode. If you haven't, Moxley wins. Sorry about it.
Oh, I was talking about Anyways, I don't really understand that as much either, but I don't know, I kind of equate to it in sports sense is like you always kind of want your team to feel like everybody's doubting you and is the underdog. So maybe that's what they're trying to do with Eddie Kingston and like the John Cena-esque, because it makes the win more important or more valuable if you believe that you are an underdog, and makes you try harder and cheer louder.
If so, it's definitely working. The people that like Eddie Kingston love him.
Well, that's some people, but I'm not some people.
Fair enough. We'll save that for our discussion later on another episode. What was our next segment?
The girl who likes Toni Storm, and that's I still don't remember her name after you said it.
Her name is Mariah May.
Okay.
In fact, if you go on Twitter and you look up her name, you will find at least hundreds, maybe thousands, of people competing, trying to get her attention, saying things like, I baked a cake for Mariah May, nice. Or I know what movie I'll put on with Mariah May.
So it's basically like a Mandy Rose or a Lacey Evans.
It's not quite to that degree, but there are a lot of people that are very attracted to Mariah May.
Is she attracted to Toni Storm? What's going on in that?
My understanding is that it's not necessarily an attractiveness thing, as opposed to like a stalker fan type of.
So character. Are we talking about like a Mickie James and Trish Stratus right now?
Maybe without the kissing under the mistletoe and things like that. I don't know. I mean, we just got through what Christmas, Tony Khan can do. Mariah May came out. She announced that she's going to have her debut match next week on Dynamite, on the first Dynamite of 2024. She was interrupted by Riho, who came out, attacked her. Then Timeless Tony tried to attack Riho, but Riho was able to see that coming, stop the attack, and then take out both of them and Luthor. And honestly, I'm into it.
Yeah, I am not feeling good, though, for Toni Storm. I think that is a good sign for Riho that she's probably going to win at, what is it, Days End?
World's End.
World's End, Days End, same thing.
I think it's possible, but I think it'll probably want to keep the title on her while Mariah May's still getting built up a little. Plus, Riho kind of comes and goes from AEW, and I don't know if this is a long
Is she in another promotion?
I would assume so, but I don't think she's exclusive to any promotion.
Well,
I think she just kind of floats around.
Just how they don't have contracts.
She's a good friend of Kenny Omega.
Of course.
So she kind of floats where needed.
Everyone loves the Young Bucks.
The
Elite.
What's our next segment on the list before I get canceled?
We have the refreshing promo with Orange Cassidy.
This was interesting.
This didn't make fucking sense, is what it was.
Top Flight backstage wants to do an open challenge. Orange Cassidy, Trent Beretta, and I don't remember who the
Orange Cassidy. I know you want my title.
Well, I think it was Rocky Romero. They come in, they say that they'll accept it, and then Rocky Romero implies that Orange Cassidy is going crazy. So because of that, Action Andretti drinks a water bottle as fast as he can and throws it down and then says refreshing.
Refreshing.
I don't know. I'm 100% positive the match is going to be wonderful.
No, I disagree. I don't like Orange Cassidy.
This is true. You don't like Orange Cassidy. But Top Flight...
And I don't know the other people.
Top Flight's the ones that did the match against all of the luchadors a couple of rampages ago.
I vaguely remember that.
There you go.
That's why I need to start taking notes on every show.
I think it will be a good match.
Everybody's but it's just hater with all the people I don't like.
It's just a rampage match. It's not going to really equate to much, and it's going to be entertaining, and then it's going to be over.
So that match is happening on Rampage?
Yeah, they said on Friday. So unless Collision got moved, but I don't believe it did.
Gotcha. Is there going to be a Collision on Saturday or Friday? What's happening with that? There's just no Collision.
I'm assuming there's no Collision.
No, it'd be funny if they did the World's End and Collision compete with themselves
at the same time.
Yeah, to drum up that competition.
Hey, there you go. What was our next segment?
The next one was probably the highlight of my night. Was Boxing Day with Don Callis.
That's your highlight. Don Callis getting some portraits.
But first, Tony Schiavone was out there, and I just was not a fan of Tony Schiavone conducting every interview or segment. But anyways, continue.
I don't think you're a fan of Tony Schiavone, period.
Yeah, I'm not. I just said that.
Okay, fair enough. So, Don Callis comes out with the family. He gets them all paintings. The first one that we saw was with Will Hobbs. He pulls it back, and it seems like they're out clubbing together, maybe? They're like on a strip.
But they're both ripped.
Yeah, Don Callis looks extremely strong in the picture. The next one was for Takeshita, and they reveal it. Don Callis now is ripped with tattoos, and Takeshita's behind him with a samurai sword protecting him, which feels odd, because I don't think Don Callis has tattoos. And as far as I know, shirtless? I don't believe I have.
All right, then you don't know that then.
But I don't believe Takeshita has ever had like a samurai sword as part of his gimmick.
Well, since Drew McIntyre's gonna be all elite, they could have a little sword fight.
We finally get to see McIntyre and Takeshita sword fighting. And then the last one was the one that I think really is what you're saying made your night. For Kyle Fletcher, it's a painting of Kyle Fletcher and Don Callis with boxing gloves fighting off a bunch of kangaroos.
Beating off a bunch of kangaroos.
Yeah, they're beating off kangaroos so that they can try and get through Australia together. I don't know what's so funny about that to you. They're just beating off a bunch of kangaroos.
Nothing wrong with beating off some animals every now and then.
Sometimes that's just what you have to do.
With your bro. But I really thought that's what he said, but apparently he said beating up, and disappointed.
It was a real record scratch. What did he say moment? Then Sammy Guevara comes out to interrupt, says that Don Callis hasn't checked on him since he was concussed, and didn't send a baby, or didn't send a present for the baby.
Don Callis said that, with Canadian mail, it just gets...
It's just gotten lost in the mail, of course. And then implied that he was going to be a bad father, which caused...
He said he would help him with fatherhood, hurdling those new hurdles.
Yeah, implying that he would be a bad father. And then They decide they're going to split up the Don Callis family because Sammy shoves Don Callis. The rest of the family jumps him.
You forgot to say that Don Callis said that Sammy was out on maternity leave. I thought that was a good one.
That was a good point.
Implying he is a woman.
Those are fighting words
you
nowadays,
get it? You
I guess.
Get it?
They go through the whole segment. Jericho comes out to make
with
the
a
save,
baseball bat.
Which immediately I was like, this is interesting because that's who Sammy just turned on to start the whole feud with the Don Callis family and Jericho. Well, I mean, I didn't start it, but it was like the peak of it, I guess you should say. And that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, that was...
Especially since Sammy's been gone.
Yeah, I feel like it was not long at all that he was teaming with Chris Jericho and then gave him the little low blow.
It was an interesting choice. But then they hug, they embrace. The Sex Gods are back together.
It wasn't just a hug. It was a Mega Powers handshake coming together that was so strong it turned into a hug.
This is true.
The gravitational pull of the bro hug was too strong.
The Sex Gods, just truly modern day Mega Powers.
Is that what they call themselves?
Yeah. That's their tag team name, is the Sex Gods.
Chris Jericho's gonna have to hang it up soon, it says.
No,
this turned into Ric Flair level.
No, he's doing fine. He's doing fine, especially on Twitter.
Yeah.
But before we get too sidetracked
make sure
with
to check our TikTok for that.
Old Ricky Starks and Big Bill came out and jumped them because remember, Chris Jericho's supposed to find a tag team partner to face them at World's End. The lights go down, and Sting and Darby Allin save Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara.
And Sting also has a baseball bat.
Well, Sting always has a baseball bat. That's
yeah, but Chris Jericho and Sting, both baseball bats together, unstoppable.
A little bat fight.
Unless you're Big Bill and you just no-sell it.
He was kind of no-selling them. But I guess he just knew he had to take so many. And was like, well, I can't fall. And that leads to, for World's End, we're going to have a 4-on-4 tag team match. To me, this just feels like Tony Khan was like, oh my God, we didn't book Sting. And realized we got to get him on the show.
And with Kenny Omega being hurt too, I think that...
I think that's why Sammy's getting changed back to a face.
It's like when Edge was a heel for like a month, and then they were like, oh my God!
Oh no, Cody's hurt.
Yeah.
We don't have a main babyface on Raw anymore. Turn Edge.
Yeah.
Get the Judgment Day to jump him. And then he was written off, and it was like, well, why do we do this? Now we still don't have a babyface.
But we will.
He'll be back one day. A weird segment overall, and I'll be honest.
Yeah, I have some notes on this. Whenever
go ahead.
I was going to say Boxing Day in Orlando. Interesting. Is anybody in the Callis family even Canadian?
Don Callis is.
Okay.
Kyle Fletcher is not.
Yeah, Australian.
Powerhouse Hobbs is not. I believe he's American. And Takeshita is not.
All right, then. So Don Callis Boxing Day. I guess that is what it is. Boxing Day. Or Boxing Week.
Yeah, and Boxing Week because it's no longer Boxing Day.
And then they were pushing the hell out of buying tickets to Wembley during Boxing Week, which I thought that was interesting. And then something you didn't touch on, which I think is what really made this segment, is the baby that Sammy Guevara was holding slightly resembled Tony Khan. So where are they going with that? With the portrait that...
Are we trying to imply that Tony Khan is the real father of Sammy Guevara's baby?
Dude, that will only lead to a custody battle, ladder match between Tony Khan.
The only Sammy way Guevara. To really turn Sammy face, just like I know Tony wants to.
But like you said, why? This was whenever we were watching it. Why do they have glass on the frames? I think it was just
to get the visual of breaking them with the bat.
You think that was real glass?
I don't know.
Ouch.
That's a hard question to answer. But I do know that the visual worked. But getting the zoom ins and the reveal, and you got the glare of the lights on it, it's not a good look for it.
Maybe just have it really brittle wood that splinters. And then my last piece that I thought really, like, not being weird or funny or anything anymore, but that Sammy Guevara said that people don't remember Hobbs, what is his name? Takeshita?
Takeshita. Take a shitta.
Sure. Because of Don Callis.
Well, that's the thing. Takeshita has defeated Kenny Omega twice. And Powerhouse has beaten Chris Jericho maybe also twice, at least once. But he also had the massive scoop slam onto Paul White.
Oh, I forgot about that.
See, exactly. The thing about this whole feud with the Don Callis family versus this rotating door of Kenny and his friends, it's really getting over Don Callis. Don Callis, in fact, won the Manager of the Year from the Busted Open Radio's award show.
Paul Heyman?
No, he didn't win. He was nominated and got beat out by Don Callis.
All right, that's interesting.
The Don Callis
should win that every year.
The Don Callis family is getting over Don Callis.
Yeah.
But I don't think it is doing much to help Takeshita, Powerhouse Hobbs, Kyle Fletcher, Sammy Guevara, or for that 1 week, Brian Cage.
Oh, I forgot about the call.
There you go, Brian Cage. That's another thing that was forgotten.
That's when they bought him from Prince Nana.
And it's been going on a long time.
Yeah, and it's just like you said, it's not getting them over at all. It's what was that tweet that you read that I thought was so accurate?
The tweet that I read earlier said, and I'll try to find it so I can put it up on screen now, but it said, the problem with that quote that Sammy Guevara said is that AEW is aware of this as a problem. They will address that it is a problem, and they will acknowledge it, but they are not willing to fix it.
Yeah. Because they're just going to keep... I don't see the Don Callis family going away at least for a few more pay-per-views.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it makes it all the way through 2024. Yeah. At the very least with Takeshita and Don together.
Yeah.
Now, it may rotate some more because Will Ospreay is maybe an official part or maybe just a loner. I'm not exactly sure because he's in the Titantron, but I could have sworn that was just a one-off during their Forbidden Door pay-per-view. So I don't know where that's going, but he won't even be in until, March, I believe, after Revolution. So it will definitely have a little bit of added life with that. Maybe they'll kick out Kyle Fletcher, or maybe they'll add in the other member of Aussie Open.
And I guess I just thought about it, but they might still be scrambling from Kenny Omega being injured as well, just from, I don't know, I guess they're probably trying to figure out what they're going to do with that, because it was really Don Callis versus Kenny Omega, was it not? Was that the whole...
It was. Okay, it was. And now they're trying to make it more so Don and Chris Jericho.
Gotcha.
So, we'll see. I know Chris probably loves that. That's where we're going to wrap it up for this video. We got a couple more things to talk about in the upcoming videos, so y'all be sure to head on over to the channel, see what we got going on. No, we won't give any spoilers for it. If you know what happens in the episode, you know what comes up next. And we'll check out you guys later. In case you need a reminder, I'm the Mark.
And I'm the Casual. Comment down below if you think that we're being Marks, or you think if I'm being too much of a casual. You're just an idiot. Let us know what you think. Thanks for listening.